President Obama, talking to the Des Moines Register, again, thought it was off the record. Now, the Des Moines Register pressured him, but said they didn't leak it or anything. They said, do you want to put it on the record? President Obama said, fine, we'll put it on the record. It's fascinating because of what we learned from it. Partly because he thought that it was off the record and he could be honest, and partly simply because of what he said. So on the issue of taxes. Now, how many times have I told you they're not going to raise taxes, and in fact, they'll even lower the rates. They'll cut taxes. And I know my good liberal friends and Democratic friends, oh, Cenk, you're crazy. But he said it. I'm not making it up. He said he'd lower corporate taxes. He said it in speeches. We run the quotes for you. And apparently he told the Des Moines Register the same thing. Now, remember, we're supposed to get a big deal, a grand bargain with the Republicans where we cut the hell out of spending, including Medicare, Medicaid, and maybe Social Security. But in return, we raise taxes, right? Wrong. Here's the president's quote. We can start looking at a serious corporate tax reform agenda that's revenue neutral, but lowers rates and broadens the base, something that both Republicans and Democrats have expressed an interest in. Did you hear those things? He's going to lower the corporate tax rate, broaden the base. He sounds like Paul Ryan. Nonsense. Oh, yeah, we'll take away a couple of the loopholes. That broadens the base. Those loopholes, even if it were true, are going to be right back in there within 18 months. Bottom line is they're going to lower the corporate tax rate from 35% to 28%. You think those corporations are going to agree to it if it's not to their advantage? Come on. So, and he says, he brags again, oh, I can't wait to agree with the Republicans. I totally agree with the Republicans. As soon as I get reelected, I'm going to lower corporate taxes. Oh, great. What a great grand bargain that is. I'm really looking forward to it. Even the Des Moines Register, they sound surprised. Obviously, I'm not surprised because apparently I read the news a little closer than they do. But they said, well, he sounds like a closet centrist. But that's exactly what the president is, except it's not centrist. It's centrist in Washington. The center of Washington is to the far right. Now, how do I know that? Why do I say the country is way to the left of where Washington's center is? Because look at it. When they're running for election, they're giant progressives. President Obama is a closet, what they call centrist, in reality right wing. Why? Because he's got to hide it, otherwise you won't vote for him. He knows the country's progressive. He knows if I told you, oh, by the way, I'm kidding about all this change and progressive stuff. No, the minute I get reelected, I'm going to cut corporate taxes and I'm going to get it out of you. I'm going to take your Social Security, your Medicare, Medicaid. He knows he'd lose, right? And the Republicans, they're running to the left of him on issues now. Mitt Romney during the debate saying, oh, Dodd-Frank didn't do enough. Now, I'm going to get rid of it. In other words, I'm not going to do anything, right? But the real problem is these banks are too big to fail. Is that a conservative position? No. That's a very liberal position. Why? Because the country is progressive. And so that's why Obama has to hide the fact that he's a right-winger, and Romney has to try to go to the left of him during a debate. It's comical, right? So he says, he continues to go on, tell the Des Moines Register that he is going to weed out extra regulations. Why, thank you, Mr. Republican President. Oh, right, you're supposed to be a Democrat. Bragging, oh, it's too much regulation. Which part of this sounds like a progressive? Is there at times that we have too much regulation in the country? Of course, right? But that's your big platform? Your real agenda is there's too much regulation in the country? And then he says, but it's not just that. He says, oh, the EPA. They're too harsh on business. Oh, for Christ's sake. The EPA, which, by the way, Obama has quietly continued to gut as the Bush administration did. He's put in less regulation than Bush did. Again, always. He broke a record on deportations. Bush had the record. Obama broke it in terms of drug dispensaries, raids on them, broke a record, broke Bush's record. Obama is a right-winger. When it's off the record, he says, oh, I'll tell you. And that's not all. So he's going to try to take away more power from the EPA, take away more regulations, cut corporate taxes, but he ain't done yet. He also says about the grand bargain, quote, so when you combine the Bush tax cuts expiring, the sequester in place, the commitment of both myself and my opponent, again, bragging about how they agree, at least Governor Romney claims that he wants to reduce the deficit, but we're going to be in a position where I believe in the first 6 months, we are going to solve that big piece of business, referring to the grand bargain. He's going to cut entitlements, he's going to cut Medicare, he's going to cut Medicaid, and he's not going to get almost anything in return. Tax increases, this guy, they're going to broaden the base. At best, you know what that means? Well, it's not a good case scenario. They say, oh, we're going to take away some of the loopholes, like your home mortgage deduction, your child tax credit, your charitable contributions. Now, I don't know if they're going to take all those away, but those are on the table. Those don't hurt the rich. The main thing the rich care about is the tax rate. Because, oh, my little deductions, et cetera, for home mortgage, are you kidding me? If I'm making $10 million a year and you lower my taxes from 35% to 20%, as Romney proposes, they're going to save millions of dollars. And what does President Obama do? He wants to play that same exact game. Des Moines Register concludes at the end. But rest assured, once he no longer has to face an election, he'll make a sprint for the center. The center of Washington, man, that ain't the center of the country. If he thought it was the center of the country, why wouldn't he sprint there before the election? No, I've been telling you this based on the facts. I was enthusiastic about the guy in 2008. I thought he was more progressive than Hillary Clinton. Not as progressive as, you know, some thought or hoped for. I was realistic about it, but he was better than the establishment Clinton, right? Well, it turns out he might be even worse than her. And I don't do this because I had any bias against the guy. Quite the opposite. I'm telling you the reality based on the 4 years that I saw and based on his promises for if he gets reelected, I'll be an even better Republican, he says. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. What a wonderful choice we have in this election. God damn it, man. Money has bought our system lock, stock, and barrel. Your two choices are bathed in money and drowned in money.